What's your name?
Let me ask you, is disposition in the court order or anything like that? Documentation of this court order?
I don't have any documentation for you.
Okay.
He's asking what's your name.
Yeah, go ahead. Continue. I'm the opposite. Oh, no, we get this one.
What's your name? What's your name?
You don't have his name. You're not entitled to his name.
No. Go. We'll go. We'll ID him.
I work with the U.S. military back in my home country.
Okay.
I have all the documents. I didn't have a credible fear interview. I work with the U.S. military. I was interpreter. I work with the U.S. military.
Do you have a warrant for his arrest?
Yes, you do.
Why don't you
Provide the warrant. Provide the warrant.
I work with the U.S. military. Just chill to the.
You can come with us, sir.
Provide the warrant.
You can come with us.
You don't have a warrant.
I work U.S. military back in my home country, Afghanistan. See, this is my city.
Can I see his warrant?
Yes, I'll show it to you in the elevator.
Or you could show it now and make sure it's
No,
the right
no.
person.
Could
Because
you-
I've seen you cuff the wrong people several
Could you back
times
up,
now.
please?
Pretty embarrassing.
But I say like more than 3 years I worked with the U.S. military back in my home country. But
Thank
I came here
Back up.
Thank you for your service.
to make.
Hey, Bobby Jones here for Valor Media and MeidasTouch Network. And I'm here with my good friend and co-host of the Geedunk Pod Show, Dan Barkhuff. And the clip you just saw makes my blood boil. As a veteran, as a retiree, you're talking about someone, as a young man who was an interpreter for American forces, allied forces in Afghanistan, in the heart of the global war on terrorism after 9/11, and him being hauled off after coming here legally, doing everything he's supposed to, doing his regular court check-in, and he's hauled off for possible deportation. And Dan, I'll let you give a little bit of background on why this pisses me off so much.
Yeah, man. So the clip is infuriating, to say the least. I mean, the Afghan, so we fought this 20-year war in Afghanistan, right? And it was very dependent on both local forces and assistance from Afghans as far as interpretation, okay? So Afghanistan is a region of the country, or sorry, a region of the world, originally sort of hodgepodge together by the British and, the borders were just kind of made out of thin air. There's a bunch of different ethnic groups. There's a bunch of different languages. So there's Hazaras in Afghanistan. There's Pashtus. People speak Farsi, right? Probably Farsi and Pashto are sort of the two main languages there. And find me like a white dude from America who speaks Pashto and Farsi. You can't, right? I mean, I know guys who went to DLI, who went to Defense Language Institute, and did a year of Arabic or a year of Pashto, and they couldn't even, order a sandwich in Pashto. They were absolutely critical to the mission there in terms of finding people that we were trying to find, and also, building rapport and building relations with the locals. I mean, you can't go in and pave a road between two villages if you don't have someone who speaks the languages. And so when the Taliban take over, U.S. forces withdraw, we had promised these people that we would bring them over. And moreover, we not only promised them, we promised them that we would bring their families as well.
Right.
And so there are tens of thousands of refugees sort of all settled across America in under different programs. There's the SIV program, the Special Immigrant Visa program. There are some people here who are a humanitarian parole. And so the Trump administration has now decided apparently to start deporting these people. It's wild.
Right. So let's go a little bit into the background here. The refugees here in America made the choice to side with America. They made the choice to put their lives, their families' lives on the line for the United States of America and its servicemen and women. They literally helped save lives while putting their lives on the line. You mentioned the special immigrant visa. Yes, Stephen Miller, that guy has been the one who's hell-bent, who's killing that program. He's killing all the funding for CARE, which is basically a government entity that was formed specifically for these refugees to help them resettle here, to do it legally where they are welcome. They've killed that funding. As a matter of fact, September of 2025, it's done. Yep. It's done. And so now what's happening is people who trusted us are now about to be abandoned. And on top of that insult, the deportations, the family members that were still waiting to come, immediate family members still waiting to come because they were doing it legally, that has been cut off. I read a story of two Afghan brothers whose sister, to rejoin the family, was about to get on her flight, and now she's been killed. Not killed. The travel has been killed because the greatest insult to injury is Trump put Afghanistan on one of the 12 countries in his travel ban too. So he doubled and tripled down.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give you a local example. I mean, we have a community up here of Afghan refugees. And there's a crew of, I don't know, 40, 50 guys, maybe all males, predominantly single, who worked for KPF. So the Coast Protection Force, which was the original so Koust is a city in Afghanistan. The KPF were like the CIA's proxy force, and they did it for 20 years. These guys were doing all of the dirty work for us. These Afghan refugees that come over, they're not, some of them they worked at the U.S. Embassy, that type of thing. Many of these people who were interpreters were in Humvees alongside American troops, getting blown up, getting shot at, all this stuff. And Bobby, as I was kind of digging into this today, I wanted to talk a little bit about, it's not just the Afghans. Did you know they're doing the same thing with the Vietnamese?
Yes. Yes.
The Vietnam War was 50 years ago, and Stephen Miller is rounding up Vietnamese. And one of the things about Trump's tariff war was, strong arming the country of Vietnam. Hey, I know these guys left 50 years ago. We're going to stick them on a plane and you're going to take them back. And so, it's not just the Afghans. These are people who have bled for America and American citizens. And, it's wild.
This blanket just kick them out mentality shows that either they don't know history or they don't give a damn about it. I think it's a combination of both. But here's the thing, and here's the connective tissue to what's happening right now. By the time of this recording, we have still yet to hear a decision, but people are leaning that the United States is going to join Israel in these attacks and conflicts against Iran. Let me ask you a question based on what's happening right now. Why the hell should anybody in the Middle East, depending on where you stand, why should they trust American forces right now to help Israel or any action and fallout in the Middle East right now? Why should they?
Of course, they shouldn't. But there's another irony here, believe it or not, which is that we're potentially about to go to war on behalf of Israel, right? And our refugee laws, our asylum laws in this country are because we told a bunch of Jewish Europeans to fuck off back in the day. Yep. So, I mean, the story of the MS St. Louis, which is this ship leaves Frankfurt, Germany, with 900 Jewish refugees after Kristallnacht in, 1939 or so. Kristallnacht being like this pogrom where they, smash all the Jewish synagogues and their businesses and kill a bunch of Jewish shopkeepers and the like. And so the ship comes over. They're originally slated to go to Cuba. And they go to Cuba, and Cuba's like, no, we're not taking you guys. So they come to Miami. And the U.S. Department of State is like, we're not taking you either. They go back. England takes a couple hundred of people off this ship. And then, the rest of them get put back on the continent. And of those who went back on the continent, like 3/4 died at Auschwitz. So these asylum programs are because we recognize that we have a moral responsibility, and it comes right out of the Holocaust, which led directly to the state of Israel. I mean, the irony of that is profound. I think it's insane to me.
Well, the other thing that kind of jumps out at me, you know, when we look at the United States and how the United States current administration, Donald Trump, views itself, they view themselves with an arrogance that completely ignores the contributions except for certain sectors of American society, right? You know, we're recording this on Juneteenth here in America, and Juneteenth in America is basically the date chosen to recognize where slaves of African descent found out they were truly free, right? When you think about the tapestry of what makes America, America, you have many, almost countless stories of people from all over the world that have contributed, right? Many of the people who have contributed to what has made America, America at its best, come from unbelievably difficult situations. Unbelievable. And they took a chance on America. When you talk about these interpreters, right, who make no mistake, the Taliban are going to hunt down if they're sent back and kill them, right? They chose to believe in the dream and the American promise that we have always talked about. We may not have come close to living up to it, but we keep striving to it. This will be a blow that will have ramifications beyond the Trump administration, because America's word in many situations is the only thing people will have to go off of. And if we renege on something like this, where does that line end? What do we stand for? You know?
No, I think I completely agree. It's harmful to our reputation and to the version of ourselves that we like to think we are. And moreover, this country is a better place because of immigrants. I mean,
yes.
I'm sorry, I don't want to eat fucking English food for the rest of my life, right? Like, you know, like I'd rather go get banh mi every here and there. And I mean, this, you know, waves of immigration have made this country not only better, right, by bringing aspects of their culture, but by, you know, I think there's sort of a selection bias with immigrants in this country. I think you get people who come here and clearly, by definition, they packed up and moved to America. Like, they're willing to take a risk. They're willing to start that new business. They want to hustle. They want to sleep nine people in one bedroom and, you know, take shifts and do all the jobs and pick all the fruit and do the roofing and all that kind of stuff. And just so their kids can, you know, learn the language and go to college, and their grandkids can be, you know, U.S. senators and things like that. And this is, it's the promise of America to the globe, right? Like, we are this beacon that people still want to get to. And it's crap like this that damages that. I mean, it's like a self-own in the global propaganda PR sphere.
Yeah, no, I mean, immigrants, anybody who moves from one part of the world to another, if you're willing to leave your ancestral home to go someplace else, you're all in. You're all in, right? And that's why you see people work so hard when they do immigrate, not just the United States, to Europe, to other countries around the world. And here's the thing that I want to just end on. If we as a nation, the United States, as we as a society cannot value people who are willing to put it all on the line and sit back and act in judgment of others and what they can and what they bring to the table, blah, 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 blah. If that's how we're going to approach things, we are going to slowly fade as a country and as a society, because that sense of urgency of being all in has motivated people to do great things historically. And the United States right now is at a very, very dangerous precipice on not just reputation, but direction, both internationally and domestically. And these Afghan interpreters, just one of many groups in America that are being singled out, and in my opinion, in our opinion, being held wrongly, being judged wrongly. If those type of individuals are not valued in the United States of America, then who the hell is?
Yeah.
Who the hell is?
I think that's a perfect way to end it, man. I mean, these are people who literally risked their lives, who sat in, you know, on the passenger side of a Humvee that ate an IED on a mountain pass in Afghanistan, right? Like that's who we're talking about.
Yep.
That's who we're talking about.
Well, let's see what happens. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for listening.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys.
New Midas merch drop. Check out the latest pro-democracy sticker packs, t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, and more. All at store.MeidasTouch.com.